Hi everybody, my name is Miss Holly. I am going to show you some basic techniques about soap carving. First thing I'm going to do is let you know, for those who are in our Zoom right now, you guys are all muted. At some point after my instruction, I will ask you guys if you have any questions, and I'm even going to have a poll up. What a poll is, I'm going to ask you guys what type of soap carving we're going to be doing today. But before I begin, let me introduce some of the materials that I hope that you can find at your house. You might have it in front of you today, but keep in mind this program, you're not going to finish this project in 45 minutes or an hour. If you do, great, great for you. But this is a project that it takes a while because you're going to keep working on it and working on it. Okay, first things first, what you want to do or get for soap carving is soap. I like to buy the inexpensive soap that you can get at the 98-cent store, something like this. Dial, you can get 2 bars for about 98 cents, and they come in these boxes right here. Cheaper soap is the best because it's soft. You can work with hard soap if you want, but I wouldn't. For what we're doing today, you don't want to invest in really expensive stuff. So again, just any inexpensive rectangular, any shape is fine too. So any soap that's affordable. Other objects you want to be using today is you can use a simple butter knife at home. Again, you need to ask your grown-up if this is okay, but a butter knife or a plastic knife is fine too. You just need something that has like a hard side that you could scrape the soap on. Even simpler, you can use a popsicle stick or a tongue depressor that you might get from your doctor. And again, you're just using this to scrape away the soap. Did you know you can even use a chopstick? So this is a simple chopstick that you can get from To Go. Just take it out, and then you can use it for fine detailing. Speaking of fine detailing, you can use toothpicks for like the more finer details that you have on your soap. For this project, I also have a towel spread out because you're going to get little bits and pieces of soap. I have a bowl of water. And you might want to get a Sharpie too. The Sharpie, what you're going to use it for is to draw your image of what you want on your soap. So you have sort of a guideline to guide you. Okay. All right, my dears. So again, welcome to soap carving. I just want to remind you guys that you're in a Zoom webinar right now. There's no audio or video, so I can't hear or see you, but at some point during this program, I'm going to ask for a Q&A. Q&A, any questions you might have, you could type it, and then one of my helpers will try to answer your question. If you're watching on Facebook Live, you can ask questions in the comments, and we'll do our best to get back to you as well. This is being recorded, so please keep in mind, if you miss something, you can always come back and watch it again. We just went over supplies needed. Basically, you just need any type of bar of soap, the cheaper the better, a butter knife or a plastic knife, anything that has like a hard side, a toothpick, and I didn't mention this, but even a cheese grater. The cheese grater is, a lot of soap has, they imprint the name of the soap on it. With the cheese grater, you can use it to basically scrape off the name. So if you want to get rid of that, you can use it just to scrape off the name of the soap. All right, my friends, I'm going to stop sharing these slides. Okay, so the first thing I want to ask you is, what should we make today? So if you're just joining me, I'm going to put up a poll. You should see a question in front of you, and it says, what should we create today? Should we make a duck, a turtle, or a fish? Let me repeat that. Do you want to make a duck, a turtle, or a fish? I'm going to give everybody a minute, and then once you have your answers, we're going to work on one together. Okay, it looks like turtle is in the lead, followed by fish. Oh, everybody wants to see a turtle today. Oh, let's see. Okay. All right, it looks like turtle. I'm going to share the results. All right, so it looks like we're going to make a turtle today. Okay, my friends, I am just going to end my video. So a turtle. So if you have your soap in front of you, I have my soap in front of me. And I don't want to have this dial in front of it or the letters in it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get my cheese grater and ever so gently, I'm just going to rub it across and try to smooth out the lettering so I can get rid of it. Now, if you're younger, you might need to have your grown-up help you, and that's okay. If you don't have a cheese grater at home or you're not allowed to use it, what you can also do is get some water, put it on the part where you want to smooth out the lettering to make it soft. My towel. And then using whatever you have, you can kind of just scrape it off. So then you have a smooth surface to be working with. I have my towel right in front of me, so it's catching all of this fun little pieces that I have left. And you know the great thing about soap? You can get these pieces afterwards and mush them together and make whatever fun shape you want, or you can put it back onto your soap. So as you can see now, I managed to get the lettering off of my dial. Good. Next, you have your pen in front of you. What we're going to do is we're going to decide on the shape to draw on top of it. Now, if you took the poll, we decided we're going to make a turtle today. So I'm going to draw a turtle on top of it. If you're following along, that's great. If you don't want to make a turtle, that's okay. You can do whatever you want at home. Okay, so here we go. What does a turtle look like? Well, my turtle has a shell. Oops, I'm going to draw on this side. It has a shell. It has a little head. And then 4 legs. You see? So again, I drew a little turtle on it, so I have guidelines, but as you're carving away, these lines are going to disappear. So here I have a sample of a turtle, and I got my tool, and I'm just carving away at it. For those of you who've never peeled a vegetable or a potato, using whatever tool you have, it's just a matter of applying a little pressure and scraping away. This is an old form of what they call whittling. A long time ago, they did it with wood, but we're doing with soap because soap is really easy to use. It's soft, and if you make mistakes, it's okay. You can grab some of the soap shavings and kind of just get some water and pack it back in and fix your mistake. All right, so again, I am just digging into the soap to where the shape is. So I'm forming the little legs, the head, the legs. I'm just moving it around. Did you guys know that soap has been around for 4,800 years? Yep. It's environmentally friendly and biodegradable. Okay. Okay. At this point, does anybody have any questions? I see a question in Q&A. Let's see.
Hi, Holly. Would you mind holding up the outline again?
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Here's the outline of my turtle. So I have the circle for the shell, and he has a little head and his little legs. And as you can see, I'm trying to dig into the soap. So his leg is a little bit more defined.
Perfect. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay. You know, a fun thing I learned about soap is a long time ago when they advertised for soap on the radio, they advertised long commercials they called soap operas. And so when they moved these small dramas onto TV, they still called it soap operas. That's why a lot of the shows that mommy and daddies watch on TV called soap operas is called soap operas, because they were originally the short dramas advertising for soap for sale. Okay. So as you can see, I'm digging more and more of the shape. I'm using a butter knife for this, but again, I can easily use a plastic knife. So I'm just kind of digging in, making the shape of the shell. If you find that your soap is too hard to work with, then you can get some water, dip some of the water with your fingertips, and wet the area that you want to be soft. But remember, dry off your hands, because if you're working with slippery hands, your tool might fly away or your soap might fly away. So, but just know that you can use a little bit of water to soften it up. And making mistakes is okay. In fact, let me show you a trick. Remember earlier how I said that I use a toothpick? Well, if you get a toothpick and you cut it in half and you make a mistake, like for example, here is a duck that I made. Now, if the duck has an accident, this isn't for the faint of heart, like if he has an accident, like, oh, I don't know, his head falls off by accident, what we can do is you get the toothpick, you poke it in where the part where he fell off, the head fell off, or whatever part fell off, and you could reconnect it. See? And then you just get soap, or excuse me, you get water, and just smooth out the sides, and then he's all better. That's the fun thing about soap. Again, if you're working with it and it breaks off, or it's a shape you don't like, you can get some water and just shape it back to the way you like it. Like he's okay. All right, let's work on that turtle. So I am just trying to make this turtle. Now remember, your turtle may look different than mine, and that's okay, because every little guy is special. But before anything else, I want to show you a special thing you can do with the shell. Now, you know how turtles have little, oh, I don't know, what is it? Little, they look like a soccer ball, that shape, like hexagons. What you can do with your turtle when you're ready, you can get what tool you have and draw lines on top. Just add a little pressure right here. If you draw lines across and then parallel, we call that hash marks. I don't know if you can see. No, I don't think you can see. It's a little bit harder to see. Let me draw it on with a Sharpie. So basically what I did was I cut cross hashes on my turtle. And so when I carve it into a curved shape for the shell, you could really see the lines the turtle shell has. Kind of like a real turtle. Again, it has that same shape like a soccer ball might have. Okay. Did you guys know that it was a man in Taiwan named Shan Xiao who invented the automatic soap dispenser? So it was somebody in Taiwan who invented it, which we can all see a lot of soap dispensers located in a lot of restaurants and places we go now. How's your turtle coming out? Mine's okay. I think his legs are a little fat, so I think I need to just shape it a little bit more. Again, this is something that you're not going to finish in half an hour. It might take a couple days. It's a very time-consuming project. You know, have you heard of old stories where people sitting around the fire, somebody's just whittling away? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Maybe you're not making a turtle. Maybe you're making a butterfly, or you're making a crab, or you're making something else. But what are you going to do with yours when you're done? Are you going to give it as a gift? You're going to put it in the bathroom? Let everybody see your beautiful work? Okay. Do we have a question?
Oh, Holly, we have a question from Facebook. Could you show us the fish outline?
Oh, sure. Okay. So again, this is my turtle. Let's look at the fish outline. So say you have your bar of soap and then you want to carve a fish. So this is my fish outline. This is the front and this is the tail. Again, it's a very rough, really rough sketch because once you get to the shape that you want, you can add those simple details like scales and an eye. Same thing with the turtle. So my turtle's coming together. So this is his head, right? So I might want to get a toothpick and start putting in the details like his eyes or his mouth. The fish. And the fun thing with this too, you can get different colors. So like I was working on a yellow duck. So say you can get blue soap and make a blue fish. So now I'm working on the fish. I want to carve out huge chunks of it because I want to get to that negative space. So what I might want to do is wet the whole bar of soap. But again, be careful working with wet hands. Get your towel and make sure it's wet, but you want to dry it off a little bit so it's not too slippery because you're going to cut into something that's slippery. It's dangerous. And of course, if you come to a part where you just need a lot of help, then go ahead and ask your grown-up that you have with you. But with a little patience, you can whittle away and get to where you need to be. Again, if you're allowed to work with a grater, that might be a really good tool for you too. So you could really get at getting to that shape that you need. Here I'm just trying to grate down the soap so I can get the front of the fish, the tip of the fish. So next time you're thinking about a gift for your grown up or friend, think about carving some soap. It's a very useful gift because you can always use some more soap in the house. See, when I was grating it, so I was able to kind of get that triangular nose shape. So now I'm going to use my tool and just kind of carve it. So then you can't see at home, but when I'm carving all around the soap bar, not just the sides, because I want to give it a 3D effect. It's up to you if you just want to do one side, but for the full effect for me, I like to carve the whole thing. So in the end, it's going to look like, I guess, like a carrot stick, right? So, or a cone. What other things can you carve with in the shape for soap? You can do a bear, you can do a dog, you can do an elephant. I think one of the best things I saw somebody carved when I was younger was somebody had made a TV and they used different color soap for the screen. It was very pretty. So you see, kind of see the shape of the fish right here. And then I'm going to start doing the tail. I haven't forgotten about my turtle. It's still there. It's just, I got distracted by doing this fish now. You can do flowers. You can do a lot of stuff with soap carving. And I know you can't smell it, but it smells really good right now. It smells like soap. Did you guys know that it was an American named William Shepard who invented liquid soap? So the liquid soap that you guys are used to seeing now was invented by an American in 1865. But when he first invented it, the liquid soap was like really sticky. Think of like a melted lollipop. And it was meant to use for hospitals and kitchen. But now I bet we use it in everyday homes and we see it a lot, right? Again, I'm just whittling the fish, so I got the indentations right here where the fin would be, and then that's his nose. There's a lot of soap right now. Little soap shards. Do you see it? It's like snow. So once you have all of these, don't throw it away. You can definitely shape it into something that you want. Maybe a tiny little turtle for your turtle friend or another little fish for your fish friend. But with the little scraps and pieces, don't throw it away. You can definitely use it. You could squeeze it into another bar of soap. Okay, get back to that turtle. That turtle. I hope you find this soothing. If you guys are following me along at home, it's just scraping off bits of soap into the shape that you want. I hope you find this activity soothing. And you know, the best thing is if it doesn't look like what you want it to look like, then it can be totally different. So, you know, this is my turtle, but if I don't think it looks like a turtle, maybe it looks like an owl. Who knows? It might change its identity. But again, you know, so when you're sculpting, I'm just applying a little pressure, like digging in a little bit and then moving it upward to scrape it out. You don't want to dig really hard into the cake soap because then it'll just splinter and break. But again, if it does splinter and break, as I mentioned earlier, you can just get a small toothpick, push it in, and then replace the soap. Get some water and then just kind of, I don't want to say melt it back, but just kind of like force the shape back. The way that I'm doing this, again, my motion is very much like a scraping motion, kind of like when you're trying to get like a sticker off or fruit, or when you're scraping like butter on toast. That's kind of the motion that I'm making. Because if you do it too hard, then the soap will just break. Which isn't a bad thing, but less is more for this type of project. Do we have any questions? You guys doing okay? Sorry, I can get so lost in this.
No questions right now, Miss Holly. I think you're doing great.
Great. Did you guys know that in 1966, P&G spent $161 million in soap commercials? That's a lot of money. Okay, so that's my turtle, but I think his legs are a little bit long, so let's make him shorter. This is a sea turtle. I think their fins are long, right? Okay. So I basically have like the rough shape of what I want for my turtle. I want to get some detail in there. This is where the toothpick comes in. A toothpick, or as I showed earlier, this is just a chopstick from To Go. So you can get a toothpick and then really start scraping at the details that you want. I'm trying to get that fine detail on the shell. Let me dig a little deeper, then I'll show you to see if you guys can see it. I wonder if you guys can see it. So earlier on, we had asked what we wanted to create. You guys had picked the turtle. So here's kind of a general outline of what the turtle is. If I were to continue working on this, I'd put more detail like in the face and the shell part. If you wanted to do a fish, this is the shape that I was working on. Kind of started on it a little bit. I used a cheese grater to get that fine tip point, and then I was working on shaping the tail. And if you wanted to do a duck, this is a general shape of a duck. You got this poor little guy right here. So you could see like the beak right here, the head, and then the tail. And then I have all of these extra little pieces that are not going to go to waste. I'm probably going to press back either into the bar of soap, or I'm just going to make another bar of soap with it. So.
Miss Holly, we have a question.
Yeah.
One of our participants says their turtle's leg is super tiny. Is there anything that they can do to fix it?
I love that question. Yeah. Do you remember all the excess? Well, I have a lot of excess. So the extra pieces that I had, if my turtle's leg was super tiny and I wanted to be bigger, I would get some water and kind of, I don't want to say make a paste, but wet my hands and wet some of the excess and pack it onto the leg and try to make it bigger that way. So does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So if you're working in an area and it breaks off or there's too little of it, just get the excess pieces, get some water and pack it on. Just pack it on and then just start carving it away again. So it should melt together and then hopefully it'll become what you want it to be. Is there any other questions? No?
That's it.
Oh, wow. Okay, you guys. So let me show you. Let me share my screen and show my slides. Let's see. Share. So again, we talked about different supplies that we needed. You might use different things depending on what you have at home. Again, use whatever you're comfortable with. For me, it was a butter knife, but you could easily use a plastic knife. Anything with like not a sharp side, but just like a hard line side that helps you scrape it. Toothpick is great for detail work. Any bar of soap is fine. The cheaper, the better, because we're having fun making crafts, right? Cheese grater is optional. That's something your grown-up might have to help you with. Oops. All right, friends. Now, again, I don't expect you to be done with your soap sculpture today because I'm certainly not. It's something that you can continue working on. But once you're done with it, we'd love for you to share your art. So if you could take a photo of your artwork and share it with us in our art gallery, please, if you don't mind, we'd love to see the art. For safety reasons, try not to show your face as much as I love to see your face. If you can just, please share your art with us. I would love to see what you guys created. Thank you very much. If there's no other questions, are there any questions? Because that's pretty much it, you guys. I wanted to share with you techniques of how to carve soap. I hope this is something that you guys can work on and enjoy for the rest of the summer. And I'd love to see your work, so please share your art with us. Are there any questions?
Does the library have books on soap carving?
You know what? That's such a good question. And I looked and no, there's no books on soap carving. I think the adults have books on soap carving, but I didn't bother sharing it because it was not enough pictures for me and too many words. I think that soap carving is something, I guess there's not a lot of books published on it, so I'm sorry. If you want to get some ideas, I would look online and you can look at different images of soap sculptures and get some ideas from there. But no, I haven't found a lot of books on this. I think that's part of the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys today. There's not a lot of books, you guys. Is there any other questions?
Awesome. This is like a very unique experience then.
Yeah. It's...
I do have another question. Can you show me how it looks. I think she means like the finished product.
Sure. Do you want to see the duck I made, but I chopped off its head? So a finished project, yeah. So this is the duck. Of course, I would have put more detail on feathers and like the sides, but this is essentially a duck that I was working on. We were working on a turtle, but for my taste, I think its legs are a little bit too long, and I would continue working on the shell to make it more of a hump. And then we had started working on a fish. So as you can see, this would have been the front and this is the tail. But again, as I mentioned earlier, this type of activity is not something you can just really quickly get done in 45 minutes. It does take time to work on this. So, yeah.
And then we have a question from Facebook. How do you use the excess shavings to create other molds?
Oh, let me show you. Okay, let's do that right now. Oh, my. So, basically, here's Miss Holly's extra shavings, right? What I would do is I have my little bowl of water. I'm going to wet my hands, right? Wet my hands. And then I'm going to grab some of the shavings. And I'm just squeezing it. And then I'm going to make it into a shape that I like. But they're all sticking to my fingers, so basically I'm just going to add more water. What shape should I make? Should I make a baby turtle? You're going to have to tell me. I can't I can't touch my phone.
I would love to see a baby turtle. Yes.
Okay. Sorry. So I'm just basically working. It looks like shredded coconut in Miss Holly's hand, so. And I am just making it into a ball. And then I'm going to put a head and 4 legs on the ball, and hopefully it'll look like a turtle. If not, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Aww. I can't get it to look like a turtle. I can get it to look like a fish. Maybe a duck. I don't know. Anyways, but so as you can see, I'm starting to press the shards together, and it just looks like a lump right now. If I had more excess, I could probably shape it into something better, but let me see what I can shape it into.
I know your hands are probably super soapy right now, but can you make your screen bigger?
Yeah. Jeez Louise. Okay. Is it bigger?
I think it's bigger now.
Jeez. Okay. Sorry, you guys. Miss Holly's working with like soapy hands. So basically, what I did was I have all of this excess soap. I got my hands wet, and now I am just trying to mold the excess pieces. So I got a bunch of it, and you know, like when you get snow and try to make a snowball, I don't know if you guys have done that, or if you go to the beach and you get sand and you just pack it in. It's kind of the same thing. You're just packing in a lot of like loose particles and you're forcing it into a shape that you want. So in this case, I was asked to make a turtle, but I don't think I have enough to make a turtle. So I'm trying to make a bunny. I don't know what I'm making. Looks like a snail. Yeah, you're gonna have to use your imagination. I'm really trying to shape it into something.
I see a duck. I think it looks
thank you.
I think it looks like a baby duck.
Now don't forget to put that towel down, because if you don't, you're gonna have soap everywhere like Miss Holly does. All right, do you guys have any more questions? Otherwise, I just want to thank you so much. Wait, do you have any more questions? Otherwise, I'm gonna close and say thank you for joining me in my program. Everybody's okay? You guys are going to make beautiful sculptures at home? All right, my dears. All right, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Miss Holly. I had my helpers Keela and Jennifer today. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Again, this is kind of a quiet craft where you just take some time and patience and you can create something beautiful and wonderful. I hope you guys will share it with me. And if not, I just hope you enjoy it and just have fun, okay? All right, my dears, don't forget you can pick up your summer reading prizes this Saturday if you completed summer reading. Again, thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Thank you all. Bye.